Hello students, welcome to the channel. In this video, we'll solve the first writing passage of the May 2018 US SAT, Parks and Recreation. In US cities, open space is difficult to come by. In New York, likewise, nearly half of the districts have less than 1.5 acres of parkland per 1,000 residents. So in the first sentence, I'm saying that in American cities, open space is difficult to find. And then I'm giving an example of New York, where nearly half the districts have less than 1.5 acres of parkland per 1,000 residents. So this is an example. So the best transition here would be option D, for example. Likewise is used when you're trying to compare two similar things, but that's not the case here. The second sentence is an example of the first one, so it's not A. On the other hand is when you're presenting the other side of an argument, so it's not B. And in addition is when you're providing additional information. So that's not the case either, it's D. For this reason, cities must creatively use what is available, including repurposing landfills. Transforming landfills into parks has its pitfalls. However, it is well worth the effort for communities to invest in these spaces. Now here I'm saying transforming landfills into parks has its problems. And then I'm saying it is well worth the effort to invest in these spaces. So there is an inherent contradiction. So I'm looking for a connector that is contrasting or a conjunction that is contrasting, right? The problem with a connector like however or nonetheless is that it should start a new sentence. And so a comma after pitfalls does not allow that. Because if you have a comma here, then the part after the comma can have a conjunction like but it can't have connectors like nonetheless or however. So the best answer in this case would be but. Had there been a semicolon after pitfalls, then I could have said however, comma, or nonetheless, comma, right? But since that's not the case, the best answer is option B. There is no official count of the number of parks built on landfills nationwide, but it could be as many as 1,000. Which choice best introduces the main idea of the paragraph? So let's read further. Land formerly used for garbage is usually inexpensive to buy. It is also prolific. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that the US has at least 10,000 closed municipal landfills. So this paragraph gives you reasons for why it would be a good idea to build parks on landfills. So the way it's written is not a good introduction because that's just giving you an official count of the number of such parks. So it's not A. For many environmental and logistical reasons, not all landfills can be repurposed as parks. Okay, so this is telling you that not all can be repurposed. So then definitely this can't be a good introduction because here I'm giving the advantages of how landfills can be repurposed as parks. So it's not B. Reclaiming landfills for park areas offers multiple advantages to urban areas. So this is a good introduction because I'm talking about the advantages that come with reclaiming landfills. And this is exactly what I'm doing here. I'm saying that this land is inexpensive to buy. By restoring this landscape, these parks also hold tremendous benefits for the environment and so on, right? So I like option C. Americans generated 251 million tons of trash in 2012, only 34.5% of which was recycled. So this is not a good introduction to converting landfills into parks. So C is the best answer. Land formerly used for garbage is usually inexpensive to buy. It is also prolific. The Environment Protection Agency estimates that the US has at least 1,000 closed municipal landfills. So I need to say that it is also present in big quantities, right? So the best word for that would be abundant. This kind of land is abundant. So I like B. Prolific is productive, right? So I'm not saying that this land is productive. I'm basically saying that it's available in large numbers, right? So it's not A. Magnanimous is generous, so I don't think that can be used for land. That's normally used for a person or an entity. And excessive is something that is more than what's required, right? For example, your reaction to the situation was excessive, right? So again, that doesn't fit the context of there being a lot of landfills available, right? So the best answer is B. By restoring the landscape, these parks also hold tremendous benefits for the environment because they transform a blemish into an attractive asset. They have the added benefit of raising property values. A recent paper published by the Trust for Public Land notes that parks are a boon to communities in terms of both health and social development. Exercise, play, and exposure to green space have all been linked to improved health. Okay, so here I'm speaking of three things and I'm joining them with commas: exercise, play, and exposure to green space. So the way it's written looks good. Now in option B, the comma after and is incorrect. When I join items with commas, then I only put a comma before the final and, not after it. So it's not B. If I need to say as well as, then I should put an and between exercise and play, right? Exercise and play, as well as exposure to green space, right? But since that and is missing, I cannot say as well as here. And a semicolon will not be used in a list unless there is a specific need to do so when there are commas within the items themselves, but that's not the case here. So A is the best answer. The report also notes that community spaces such as gardens and sports fields are linked to reduced crime and a stronger bond among neighborhood residents. At this point, the writer wants to add the following sentence: interest in urban parks declined around the mid-20th century, but has been revived during the past few decades. Should the writer make this addition here? So here I'm discussing the recommendations of this paper, which says that, you should have these parks. They are a boon to communities. They help with physical and mental health, and they also promote stronger bonds among neighborhoods. So this doesn't make sense in between the description of the report, right? The fact that urban park interest declined and then it revived should have come at a different place, not here. So it's a no answer. It includes information that contradicts the main idea. No, it's not contradicting the main idea. It's not relevant. So I don't like this because it distracts from the focus of the paragraph by introducing irrelevant information. So this info is not relevant. One example of a successful landfill park is Freshkills, a space on the coast of Staten Island, New York, that was once a 2,200-acre dump. So here I am giving an example of a successful park. So this comma between the subject and the verb is not needed. So just B is correct. The comma after the verb is not correct. And the colon cannot come in the middle of a sentence. So it's B. The park offers many recreational opportunities, largely unavailable in the city. These occur on layers of plastic, soil, and grass atop the garbage. Which version of the underlined portion provides the most relevant examples for the sentence? Okay, so it offers many recreational opportunities. These occur on layers of plastic. No, that is not relevant because I should talk about the kind of opportunities. So not A. Such as horseback riding, nature trails, and kayaking. Yes, so that's a good way to describe the activities. The park's wetlands include coastal grassland and marshes. No, that's not relevant to activities. Among such plants as switchgrass, purple coneflowers, and bugbane. No, again, that's not relevant. So B. Coastline restoration introduces water-absorbing plants, protecting residential areas from flood damage. Its design also features a solar station that will produce enough energy to power more than 2,000 homes. So here I'm talking about the design of the park, but I'm not referring to the park in the previous sentence. So it would be a good idea to not use a pronoun and refer to the park itself. So the park's design is the best answer. So I like this. ITS, the pronoun would have made sense if there was more clarity about the park in the previous sentence. So I'm not going with A. IT apostrophe S is it is, so that doesn't make any sense. And there is not correct because there is the plural pronoun. So D. Its design features a solar station that will produce enough energy to power more than 2,000 homes. So it will produce enough energy to do something, right? That's the correct way to structure it. So I like A. So that it powers is not correct. Enough energy to do something for the powering of or powering. So the structure of the sentence is best captured in A. The process of converting landfills into parks presents some challenges, but they are surmountable. When buried waste decomposes, it releases flammable gases such as methane, causing a potential health hazard. Also, while landfills are inexpensive to purchase, maintenance costs can be high. However, technological advances allow park designers to address both concerns, turning the disgusting problem into an advantage. Freshkills uses a gas collection system that converts methane into enough energy to heat 22,000 homes. Okay, so I'm talking about the problem of methane, which is a health hazard. So I think the best word would be noxious, right? Because noxious is used for a gas that is harmful, that is dangerous. Disgusting is not the best answer in the context because disgusting is used more for something that you don't want to look at, right? Something that repels you, right? So I don't think it has to do with danger as much as noxious does. So I think noxious is better than disgusting. And gross is not really relevant here because gross and disgusting are somewhat similar. And here I'm talking about the hazard of the gas. So it's not C. And foul has to do with smell, but it's not just about the foul smell. It's about the problem, the health problem, which is why B is the best answer. Okay, so let's grade this. Answer key, writing. Okay, D, B, C, B, A, D, B, C, B, A, and D, double B, D, A, B. D, double B, D, A, B. Okay, great. So we got all correct. Hope this exercise helped. I'll see you guys in a new video. Take care. Bye-bye.